This episode is proudly supported by Westholme Australian Wagyu. Whether you're a chef or just love going to restaurants, you know the best ingredients are everything, especially when it comes to beef. Westholme, based in Queensland and the Northern Territory, Australia, is working with the land to create nature-led Australian Wagyu. They steward 16 million acres of rangeland, guided by the natural ecosystem where cattle graze and forage on native grasses for the first few years of their lives. The result is high-quality Wagyu beef that reflects the terroir of Northern Australia. Westholme believe that when nature leads, flavour follows. Learn more at westholme.com.
The food industry is a great industry to be in. It's really rewarding, and to be in a family business is fantastic as well. So if people have got the desire to do it, it's great, and all the hard work pays off in the end.
This is The Producers. I'm Dani Valent. Brendan Gamze is part of Gamze Smokehouse, a family-run small goods company in northeast Victoria. Building on his father Felix's work as a butcher, Gamze turns free-range whole beasts into small-batch, chemical-free smoked products, working with local farmers, distributors and retailers near and far to build an ethical business they can stand behind with pride.
So my name's Brendan Gamze. I'm from Gamze Smokehouse. We're a family-owned and operated small goods manufacturing business in northeast Victoria, and we make ham, bacon and other small goods from free range and without using any chemical ingredients. All our stuff's true artisan. We make it all by hand in small batches and have been doing so for many years. So we're in Wangaratta, and we've been in Wangaratta for our whole existence. So my father Felix started his first butcher shop just down the road from where our manufacturing facility is now in 1986. And currently we work out of a purpose-built manufacturing facility that we have 8 employees. And we work Monday to Friday, and we do a lot of work for the amount of employees we have, and we've got a great team. We're really lucky being in the region we are and being a family business and having a great group of employees as well.
Felix Gamze arrived from Slovenia as a small boy, learnt English at school and inherited a fierce commitment to hard work from his parents.
That story of the European immigrant coming over to Australia with nothing and just working so hard to achieve something and provide for his family. So him and his family came over here from Slovenia when he was quite young, and they settled in Wangaratta because there was a textiles mill here, and his mother and father got jobs there, and Dad was going to school there, and he didn't learn to speak English until, he was 6 or 7 or 8 from school, but then they didn't speak it at home. So he was a really hard worker, and it was that typical story of finishing school early. So he finished going to high school when he was 15 and started a butchering apprenticeship and just worked really hard, and going home and, eating different things than his friends were eating, and his mother cooking different things to what his mates were from school were eating, I guess gave him that, the ability to think outside the square a little bit and have different influences, the Eastern European influences that he had at home. He was always wanting to do something different. There was quite a few retail butcher shops in Wangaratta for the size of the town, and I guess he was always trying to do something different to attract more customers, as people do these days. Being in a country town back in the 80s and 90s when he was running his businesses, it was you went to the local butcher to buy your meat, and then you went to the greengrocer to buy your fruit and veg, and you bought your other stuff from the supermarket. And then it turned a lot to buying everything at the supermarket. So the challenge was to get customers still to come in and buy their meat at the butcher shop. So he was doing different things there to try and still attract those customers in. So I guess he had the same challenges as the metropolitan butcher shops did, where the supermarkets were taking a big chunk of what the retail butcher shops were doing. So, he had to do different things to try and attract them back in.
When your father works from dawn to dusk, there's only one way to be sure of seeing him: go to work as well. While Brendan was growing up, he got a sense of his dad's skills, smarts and creativity. He also learnt to make rissoles.
Having a dad that's got his own butcher shop, it was, we didn't see him all that much because he's working really long hours. Obviously, it's one of those trades that you're a retail outlet as well as a tradesman, so he'd leave early in the morning before we'd get up to start, processing the meat for the day, and then he'd have to be there until closed at 6 o'clock, and then pack up. So we didn't see him all that much as kids during the week, and then he'd open on Saturdays as well. So we sort of took that chance to go in and spend time with him. So most Saturday mornings I'd go in with Dad and be there with him at the shop and make rissoles. And the best part about it was that you got morning tea. You got to cook up for morning tea, which was a bit enticing to get out of bed early as a kid. Growing up in the industry and spending time with Dad, who was a really hard worker and worked long hours in a retail butcher shop, was a good grounding for where we are today. I never thought that I'd be working with Dad. That's for sure. We've always had an amazing relationship, but never thought we'd be working together in the family business because it was a retail butcher shop, and it wasn't something that I aspired to get into. I was living in Melbourne, and I was working in marketing and finance, and I was studying my MBA and doing some of the study on the whole food movement and on farmers markets and that type of thing. And Dad was at home back in Wangaratta in the butcher shop, and he was making his small goods as well as his fresh meat. And I started, taking an interest in this other stuff that he was doing, and he said to me one day, I've got a website. I said, oh, do you? He said, yeah, check it out. So I jumped on and had a look. It was the most horrendous website you've ever seen. I think it was like he was selling motorbikes or something. There was flames coming up on the screen. It was taking forever to load, and it was just so far removed from what he was actually doing. I said, righto, well, I'll build you a new one. So that's sort of where it started. I built the new website for him and started to get interested in what he was doing and, the farmers market stuff. And it was coming up to Christmas, and I was working in a financial institution, and a couple of my colleagues that I was working with wanted a nice Christmas ham. So I said, well, Dad makes nice Christmas hams. And so that sort of, the word spread around the office pretty quickly. And then from then, I think he had to do 2 trips to Melbourne with a truck full of hams to sell to the financial institution I was working at for Christmas. And then it sort of went from there, where we got involved in the farmers markets and started to pick up some retail customers around Melbourne. Around that time, me and my wife had our first child, and we decided that we didn't want to live in Melbourne in the big city to raise our kids. We wanted to move back to the country closer to family. So we moved home, and that was when I started working with Dad in the butcher shop, and that was about 13 years ago now. And we grew from just a retail butcher shop supplying a couple of retail outlets in Melbourne to today, where we supply around 450 retail outlets across Victoria, New South Wales, Queensland and South Australia.
Brendan has always valued his relationship with his father and his father's canny ability to be ahead of trends. When Brendan came back from the city, both father and son appreciated the different skills they could each bring to the enterprise.
Dad's obviously got the expertise in and his experience in the industry and his recipes and his butchering ability, and I bring the business ability and the marketing and the ability to grow the business outside of a retail butcher shop. So he had a great following of retail customers, but sort of Wangaratta is where it finished, and working together and we've been able to, have many more people be able to enjoy the products that we make and stretch it all the way up the eastern seaboard and then across to South Australia as well, which has been really, really pleasing and quite humbling to have so many people and enjoy and are great supporters of us. So Dad's always been, I've always said he's sort of one step ahead of the game a lot of the time. Like, he was one of the first butchers to start doing pre-made meals. He actually employed a chef to work at the butcher shop in Wangaratta long before anyone else was doing that type of thing. He was doing catering jobs as well from the butcher shop, and he was doing a lot of things that he was sort of leading the charge with, and it was similar with the small goods. So he had a customer come to him one day that had allergies to the chemicals that were being used in the traditionally made small goods, and asked Dad if he could, create a product that didn't have these chemical ingredients in it. And most butchers would just say, "Oh yeah, go away, this is how I do it." But Dad being Dad, he took the challenge on, and over many years and in consultation with some food scientists and ingredients manufacturers, he created his own recipe that eliminated the chemical ingredients. So that was a major player for that. And also with the animal welfare side of things, he wanted to use pigs that were free range and that were ethically farmed. So he teamed up with Glenn Jones, who was growing pigs in Yea, just down the road from Wangaratta near Mansfield. And they worked together again over many years to produce a pig that was ethically farmed and true free range, that was going to be conducive for the small goods market, not the fresh meat market, which most of the pigs are grown for and free range pigs are grown for. So being free range, ethically farmed and without any chemical ingredients were a real selling point for when we started to grow and take the product into retail outlets in Melbourne in a retail form, because they were just like, well, there's nothing like this out there. Bring it in, let's go. And we went from strength to strength in these retail stores from there.
Gamze starts with whole free-range animals and uses different parts of the carcass through the week. It's a holistic circle of small goods, beginning with the beast and finishing with a packaged product on a truck.
So we do our processing from nose to tail. So we get whole pigs come in to us and we butcher them down and we make our small goods out of that. So we're not getting in a lot of pre-butchered boxed stuff and then just brining it and smoking it. We're getting true free-range pigs and doing all the butchering and processing ourselves. So, for example, we'll get our delivery of pigs tomorrow and we'll work on them on a Wednesday, so our butchers will process them. Mondays and Tuesdays we're making sausages, making terrines, making other things like that. We're smoking product every day, so we've got 2 big smokers and they're going every day and every night, and we're slicing product into retail packs every day as well. So you'll see the whole, circle of life, I guess, of small goods, from the whole animal coming into product leaving us in retail packs into our truck to take down to to Melbourne to our retail outlets, or might be going on a pallet to go to Sydney or to Brisbane, or out in online orders out to private customers.
Gamze's range is founded on pork, but there's been a surprise success. Which product has confounded all predictions?
So by far our bacon products are our biggest seller, but surprisingly a product which has taken off and sells really well for us is our turkey products. So we do a smoked turkey breast, which we only stumbled upon one year when we were in the butcher shop and we had some fresh turkey breast left over that Christmas. We'd ordered a few too many and we put them in the brine and did them the same as the ham. Came out, sliced them up, sent them out to our retailers, and it went from there. Now, we sell just as much smoked turkey breast as we do ham these days, which is really surprising since where it came from. We work with Daryl Deutsch's turkey farm in Dadswells Bridge there, and he said to us one day, "This is great, you guys are buying a lot of my free-range heritage bred turkey breasts. I need to just do something with the legs, the Marylands, the thighs." So we did a bit of experimentation and came up with turkey bacon. So traditionally, turkey bacon's a North American thing that's a product that's minced and then reformed to look like bacon, where we use the turkey thigh, and it's got a nice layer of Daryl produces a really good turkey that's got a nice layer of fat on there. And we make it just like our streaky bacon, and it slices up beautifully. So our turkey breast and our turkey bacon are two products that has really surprised us, and they sell really well in our retail markets for us.
Every Gamze product is special, but there are some that are way out of the range of normal. What's the story with Gamze Gold?
Yeah, look, we're really excited about it, and it's something that came up, Gamze Gold. We're always experimenting because we've got full control over what we do. We were experimenting with how good can we make bacon. Like if we had no restrictions on us about the price point our customers were prepared to pay, about the processes, the time we were going to take, how would we make the bacon? So we made Gamze Gold, which is a product that we're going to release just before Father's Day at the end of August. And what we've done is worked with our pig grower in Limestone Pork to produce a free-range regeneratively farmed pig that's been finished on acorns and macadamias for 6 weeks to give it a real depth of flavour, and sort of along the lines of the Spanish jamon. These pigs will have a really nice depth of flavour, so they're taking longer to produce and a bit of a different method with the feeding to finish them. We then decided we were going to use some ingredients in the brine that were, the next level. So we're using Murray River pink salt in our brine. We're using a beautiful 3 Bays mineral water as the base of the brine. We're using Manuka honey as well as the sweetener in the brine. And we're smoking the bacon over retired red wine barrels. And we're doing it a cold smoking method. And we're doing it double smoked for about 16 to 18 hours all up. So this product is going to be a nice clean product, but it's going to have some real depth of flavours from the different, from all the way from the way that the pig's finished to the way it's smoked over, cold smoked over the retired wine barrels. So to make it really, really pop and to have it, sit on stage, sit on shelf and present really well, we've garnished it with some edible gold leaf as well. So when you see it, the packaging looks like sort of a cross between a jewellery box and sort of a gold bar, and the product will sit in there, and it's been sprinkled and finished with some edible gold leaf as well. From all the trials we've done, it's tasting absolutely amazing. The The thing that I've noticed with it is when we're doing this cold smoking method, it's when we're then cooking it to eat, it's releasing a lot more aromatics, and you're getting a lot more depth of flavour from cooking it from a cold smoke. So when we're doing our normal bacon, we're getting that at the factory. So when we're cooking it, people come when they're coming into the factory, or they come past and they can smell it and notice it. Not so much myself because I'm there every day, but you're getting that beautiful smell of the smokiness and cooking at the same time, where when we're cold smoking it, it's giving you that at home. So when you're cooking it, as I said, you're getting those aromatics and that flavour of unlocking those that manuka honey and that pink sea salt and the nice depth of flavour in the fat from the pork as well. So that's something that really surprised me, and it has made it worth it.
Brendan Gamze is enjoying the journey and energised to push ahead with the family business. What does he have to keep in mind when he's feeling a bit impatient?
Bacon and ham and other products take a lot of time, and just the recipes and the manufacturing methods that you need to master to produce a consistently good product is quite difficult, and especially if you're doing it your own way. So if you're using your own brines, if you're using your own smoking techniques, if you're doing the butchering yourself, it does take a lot of time and effort to put the processes in to have a product that's of a really high quality consistently. So, when you get the pig in until it goes out as a finished product, takes 2 weeks, 3 weeks sometimes, depending on the product. So it's not something that turns around really quickly. I guess it's that process, perfecting that process on a consistent basis and producing a good product all the time. That's the challenge in our industry.
Food enterprises aren't easy, but they can be rewarding in all kinds of ways. Brendan shares his views on the biggest challenges and rewards.
The same with probably any small business owners or food entrepreneurs told you that it doesn't happen overnight, and it's really tough. You go through your highs and lows, but look, if you're passionate about it and you can work with your family and great people, at the end of the day, it's completely worth it. So, starting off something that was unexpected for us, but it's just evolved naturally. It does take a lot of time. You're not going to have success overnight, and it's not all going to happen without a heap of hard work and a heap of hours. So I guess the food industry is a great industry to be in. It's really rewarding, and to be in a family business is fantastic as well. So if people have got the desire to do it, it's great, and all the hard work pays off in the end. I love that we are a strong business that has really good roots and has that story and the history of our family in it. So we're able to put something on other people's family tables that's from ours. So we're producing a product that we're really passionate about, that's ethically farmed, that's chemical free, and it's going into other families' homes, and it's got our name on it, and we're able to get all this out to not just our local area now, but through a lot of the country, which is really rewarding and really exciting for us.
Gamze small goods are available around the country, but they're firmly anchored in Wangaratta, where the Gamze family and their small team transform local pork and turkey into tasty smoked ham, bacon and sausages. In every mouthful, there's heritage, heartfelt care and plenty of hard work. This is The Producers, a Deep in the Weeds production. I'm Dani Valent. Stay tuned as we talk to some of Australia's best farmers, makers and growers. Follow us on Instagram at Producers Podcast or contact us via deepintheweeds.com.au.